Welcome back to the channel and to a 2K20 video. That is right, early days, but today we are talking this year's upcoming game, and specifically talking about this year's roster and superstars that will not be featuring on it. Now, as we know, it's roughly around this time of year where the roster for the next game gets penciled in, and with the recent developments, there is a bunch of names you've got to think would have been on that list that have since been removed. With that said, let's get into it, and superstars who won't be on the 2K20 roster. Let's start this one off with probably the biggest removal, that being Chris Jericho. Now, the last year or two, Jericho has started to branch out elsewhere, which might have already put his roster spot in jeopardy. But more recently, the final nail on the coffin, I guess you could say, would be the signing of that multi-year contract with All Elite Wrestling. Now, Jericho first appeared in the WWE game series in the original SmackDown, and aside from one or two games, has been the roster regular since those days. But it looks like that's going to come to an end for now, as for the next few years, it's looking like Y2J won't be in WWE games, with that beginning this year with 2K20. Another superstar that won't feature on the 2K20 roster is TJP. Now, as you might know, TJP was released from WWE in the last couple of days, and that alone basically takes away any chance of him on the 2K20 roster. This year's game was only TJP's second WWE game, so not too much of an impact overall in the series, but still a fun superstar to play as, and a loss if you're a fan of 205 Live and its roster of cruiserweights. Our first superstar on my list is former NXT superstar Nick Miller. Another recent departure from actual WWE means another loss for the 2K20 roster. Whilst not a big name in his own right, he was one half of the NXT's The Mighty Tag Team, so a loss there in terms of tag teams. Miller first featured in the series in 2K18, with for now at least his final appearance featuring this past year in 2K19. Superstar number 4 who won't feature on this year's upcoming roster is former SmackDown and NXT superstar Ty Dillinger. Like most on my list, Dillinger is another very recent release, and again almost by default cancels him out of the 2K20 roster. In terms of the games, Dillinger's game count stands at 3 after having debuted in 2K17 and featured in 2K18 and 2K19. Whilst Dillinger might not be a big name, it is still a name that some might miss playing as, who also had the fairly unique ability of removing the knee pad before hitting some of his trademark moves. Yet another 2K20 removal is going to be Hideo Itami. He completes the trio of superstars released in the last couple of days, so again another superstar that will not feature on the 2K20 roster. Whether on 205 Live or NXT, I would say without doubt a great superstar to play as in the games. Not to mention the devastating GTS. Hideo originally debuted in 2K16 and has made 4 main series games appearances in total, the last of which was of course this past year in 2K19. And last up, ending as we started with another high profile name, we've got Dean Ambrose. Now, whilst the other superstars on this list are no longer with the company, Dean Ambrose is a little different and in that grey area, where he is still technically contracted to WWE. But as we know, it has been confirmed that come the end of his contract in a few months' time, he does plan to leave. So as it stands, if Ambrose does leave, then you would expect his removal from the 2K20 roster. Up there with Jericho, I would say a big loss overall for the roster, as with no Ambrose there is no Shield, at least not with the original trio. The former WWE champion debuted back in 2K14 and has made an appearance in every game since, that being 6 main series games in total. But again, as it currently stands, 2K19 looks to be his last, at least for now. And there we go with that. That is 6 superstars that look to be removed from the 2K20 roster. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below, and let me know what name from the list you're going to miss playing as the most. As always, stay tuned to the channel for more WWE games content coming very, very soon. And until next time, this has been 101, and I will see you all on the next one.